Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today what we are going to be going over is the 2024 presidential election. If the Republican candidate were to be Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw versus New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So 2024 has a different map of states such as Texas, Florida, Montana. They all gained electoral votes, while places such as Minnesota, New York, and a bunch of other places have lost electoral votes. So, looking at the comparisons between 2020 versus 2024, I generally believe that the Democrats would be more favored, especially in this map, as the demographics have definitely been improving more or less towards the Democrats, and with a woman of color being on the ticket, on the top of the ticket actually, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez being Latina, she would definitely bring out minority turnout and would definitely help win her the election. So first what we're going to do is we're going to fill out the safe Democratic states. These are states generally that I don't see any issue with. Actually, I'm going to leave those alone. And generally, I think most people can agree on that these are the safe Democratic states. When it comes to safe Republican states, we can do them. And yeah, so there are a bunch of states that I did not fill out for good reason. Oh, I completely forgot about Hawaii. Now going into the likely states for the Democrats, I think New Mexico and Colorado. I think they could easily even become in the safe margin. This is generally just because of AOC being the type of candidate that she is. Bernie Sanders did very well in the Colorado Democratic primary back in 2020, and if AOC is able to secure the nomination, she likely would have performed very well with the same Latino voters that voted for Joe Biden in 2020 over Bernie Sanders. So I think that she would likely win these in safe margins, especially as these states have been basically safe Democratic states and will likely be safe Democratic states even in the 2020 election. The state of Nevada, I can see that becoming a likely state. I don't think it's going to be safe per se, and safe for me is over 15 percentage points. I think it might be around 10%, 10 to 12. The next state I think is the state of Virginia. I don't think it's safe yet, but it's definitely inching there. What else? The state of Minnesota would also likely be likely, along with the state of Michigan, and I'm thinking New Hampshire. Maine, first congressional district, likely would be safe, while at large would be likely. And yeah, I generally think that these would be all of the likely states for the Democrats. When it comes for Dan Crenshaw, I think likely for Texas. I know that Texas, with any other Republican candidate, would have likely been a pure toss-up in this election, but I think that Dan Crenshaw is definitely helping narrow down the margins. Well, not narrow down, improve his margins, and he is well liked in the state of Texas, so I think he would probably win it between 5 to 10 percentage points. I also think the state of Kansas, Missouri, Mississippi, and what else? And Indiana would be likely Republican states, along with the state of Alaska. Now going down to the lean Democratic states, I think the state of Arizona would be a lean state. I think it might even become a likely state, depending on her performance, but who knows? When I think the state of Pennsylvania and Wisconsin would become lean states. They have been trending a little bit more Republican, but I don't think that's going to be necessarily a huge issue. And with that, she would be elected president. Next up would be the state of Florida. I think she would win that in a lean margin, along with Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, and the state of North Carolina. So when it comes to tilt states for, or lean states for Dan Crenshaw, I think the state of South Carolina would be lean, along with the state of Ohio, and Maine's 2nd congressional district. So when it comes to tilt states for AOC, I think the state of Georgia would become tilt, and for tilt states for Dan Crenshaw, I think Iowa would become tilt. So this would generally be the map that I think would occur in 2024. It might be very similar to the outcome in 2020, but I do think that states such as South Carolina, Kansas, and many other states would become more democratic, and you definitely are going to need to find a very inspirational candidate to try and overcome the Democratic electorate. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe, and see you soon.